Toward the end of January, if you are the parent of a fifth grade student, you will be receiving a letter inviting you to select the language your child will be studying for the next 7 years. We begin this process early because we need the data to inform our staffing needs for next year. We will be asking you to select both a first and a second choice, and although we make every effort to accommodate the first choice, this is not always possible due to staffing and class size restrictions. Our current middle school and high school program offers a choice of 3 languages: French, German, and Spanish. All 3 languages have the same course options as students progress through the grades. In middle school, for example, all students take level 1 of the language over grades 6, 7, and 8, which culminate in a final assessment that will award those who pass this assessment, as well as their coursework, 1 high school credit in LOT, or languages other than English. All students in New York State must achieve and receive 1 high school credit in LOT in order to earn a high school diploma. In 9th grade, as you can see, students have the option of continuing into the second level of the language in 9th grade or honors level 2. In 10th grade, this would be followed by level 3 or honors level 3. At the end of 10th grade, students take another exam known as the FLACS Checkpoint B exam, which will, upon successful completion, make them eligible to receive the Regents Diploma with advanced designation, provided they meet the other requirements for this diploma. In grades 11 and 12, there are several options. Students can continue just with levels 4 and 5 of the language. They can opt to take the honors track, which culminates in the AP Language and Culture exam, or they can join our IB program and take IB LOT over grades 11 and 12. All 3 languages offered here in Hauppauge are great options for our students. All 3 are listed among the 12 languages that are spoken by the greatest number of people. Spanish has 320 million speakers and is third after Chinese and English. French has 265 million speakers, whereas German has 109 million. All 3 languages open the door to greater job opportunities, as each language represents a sizable slice of the global market, and all 3 serve as a wonderful gateway to learning about the art, literature, music, and history of culturally rich societies. And finally, all 3 enhance our students' knowledge of their own language and culture, as French and Spanish, for example, come from Latin, a primary source of English vocabulary, and German has many cognates or words that are similar English words. In addition, German is more grammatically akin to the English language in its formation of verb tenses. So how does one choose a language, and which factors should enter into the decision of which language to study? Most important of all, and central to the decision, should be the child's preference or passion. After all, when it comes time to doing homework, learning new vocabulary, and studying for tests, it is the child that will have to do the work. Students perform better in subjects they like and they want to study. Does your child already have a strong preference? Perhaps he or she is enamored with a sport or sports team from another country, or involved in a hobby or activity in which another language is key to understanding the terminology of that hobby. For example, if one studies dance, many of the movements have French names, or perhaps a favorite cartoon character speaks the language your child wants to study. Another factor that can influence one's language preference is one's ethnic background. Do grandma and grandpa come from another country where French, German, or Spanish is spoken? Your child may want to learn the language of their family background. And finally, although your child is only in the 5th grade, and most 5th graders do not know what they want to do when they grow up, some do. Their language they select can help them in their future jobs. So let's look at the individual languages. Why French? Well, French is the second most frequently taught language after English. It is spoken in over 50 countries across 5 continents. 28 countries have French as their official language. French remains the working language of the UN, UNESCO, NATO, the International Olympic Committee, the International Red Cross, as well as numerous other international organizations. It is the language spoken by our largest trading partner, Canada, and is the language of a country that is the most visited country in the world, France. Over 45% of our English words have come to us from Latin through French, so learning French can enhance one's grasp of English vocabulary. Why German? German is spoken by over 100 million people, with a quarter of the European population speaking German. It is the official language of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Luxembourg, and it represents the language of the largest European economy. Like French and Spanish, it opens the door to a rich cultural heritage in the area of literature, philosophy, and science. It is the land of writers like Goethe, Kafka, Hesse, as well as philosophers such as Kant, Hegel, Marx, and Nietzsche, whom all college students study in their core subjects. Germany is also home to numerous well-known corporations such as Bayer, Siemens, who account for over 700,000 jobs in the United States. The German government encourages and promotes its cultural language by generously sponsoring over 60,000 international exchanges every year. And Hapag High School is one of its participants. We have had an exchange program with a German high school for many, many years. Why Spanish? Well, just by looking at the map of the countries where Spanish is spoken, one can see that Spanish is a major language in the Western Hemisphere, which of course opens up a myriad of job opportunities for those looking to work in states like California, Texas, and New York, with large Spanish-speaking populations, or in countries like Mexico and those in Central and South America. Spanish is the mother tongue of over 350 million people in 21 countries, and there are well over 35 million speakers of Spanish in the United States. Travel through the Western Hemisphere, including the Caribbean islands, is made more pleasurable and informative through the knowledge of Spanish. Like French and German, Spanish offers the opportunity to enjoy the rich cultural contributions to literature, the arts, and music by Spanish speakers from around the world. In conclusion, please know that whichever language your child chooses, it will benefit your child's life because learning any language is a valuable, life-changing endeavor. It opens up a new world to your child by equipping him or her with a critical 21st century skill that will allow your child to compete in what has become a global economy. Additionally, it will enrich your child's life by allowing a more authentic travel experience, as he or she will be able to communicate with native inhabitants of another country and experience firsthand the literature, art, and music of that culture. Finally, you may have some questions. Can my child switch languages after the 6th grade if he changes his mind? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Tight middle school scheduling does not allow for a change to be made. When your child gets to high school, that would be the first opportunity he would have to either add a 3rd language or change languages. Changing languages is not a recommended option, however, since most colleges and universities prefer to see the completed sequence of a language. Can my child take a language if it is spoken in the home? Taking a language one already speaks and understands defeats the purpose of learning a new language. In addition, it is an inappropriate placement that will lead to boredom and disengagement, as the middle school pace is very slow and on a very elementary basic level of language learning. Native speakers will have the opportunity to take their native language at a more appropriate level when they get to the high school. They often jump into the Honors 4 course and then successfully take the AP language course, or now, of course, could take part in our IB program. Will my child have the opportunity to study a 3rd language? Yes, many of our students that are currently enrolled in a language take a 3rd language and even are able to get into our upper level courses in those courses because they've already learned how to learn a language and therefore can accelerate much more quickly in their 3rd language. Please do not hesitate to contact me should you have any other questions. I wish your child much success and enjoyment on the path to learning the language and culture of another country.